Okay. Good morning to all. So today I'll try to talk how to generate the mesh in vertical axis wind turbine. So mainly the Savonius kind of vertical axis wind turbine. So I'll try to cover this complete outline in two classes. So today mainly I'll discuss up to the meshing process in ANSYS meshing process in ANSYS meshing up to this point. In the next talk, I'll try to cover this part. So here, so first of all, here what is CFD? CFD is nothing but is a computational fluid dynamics, in which is predicting the fluid flow, heat transfer, heat and mass transfer, chemical reactions, and the other related phenomena. Okay, here using the here we will discuss the mainly the CFD tool, not in details the CFD. So how to choose the meshing and what mesh you have to choose and what is the simulation tool that we'll discuss. As we know, the CFD can provide detailed information in the fluid flow behavior, like fluid flow behavior, like what is the pressure, distribution of pressure, velocity, temperature, process like lift and drag, distribution of multiple phases, and species phenomena. Okay, so here one more thing again, that when we perform the CFD simulation, it's better to compare the result with the like experimental setup or experimental data or experimental result or theoretical data. Because most of the time, we want to minimize our effort, which we require in case of experimental analysis by performing CFD simulations. Okay. For example, suppose we want to make one turbine blade. So for that, if we are changing some parameter, so repeatedly by number of times, if we change and we make the model and we are performing in a CFD simulations, we are performing in a experimental, then it will take time and cost. But if we have the like a CFD solver, then we can perform in a CFD analysis where we can minimize our effort, we can optimize our data, then final one we can perform the experiment. That is, so there is a cost and effort is minimized. So but for performing the CFD result, most of the time our result is affecting the mesh. So here we will discuss the meshing of the CFD. So first of all, we need to know what is our simulation tool. Based on the things that if we don't know what is happening in the CFD, is something like user input and there is a black box, and here some color picture and other result which is out, or you can say something garbage in, garbage out, and there is a black box which we don't know. For that, we should know what is under the black box. User input, some input we are giving, but here some mathematical model like our turbine. If turbine is our model, we have to discretize the model, we have to generate the mesh, then numerical simulation, numerical solutions, then we have to give the what is the turbulence model, what is the other CFD data we have to input, then we'll select the variable and selected points, then we'll get some color picks and other result. That is nothing but our post processing, then we can analyze. Okay, after that, what is our this mathematical model will from who will get that from the physical problem, that is physical principle or some assumptions we have to make. Okay, after that, then some hand calculation or experimental data we have to validate the result. So these things you have to know, otherwise our result is nothing but is something like garbage in and garbage out. Here's some main step in performing the CFD simulations or CFD analysis. The main problem identification task will define the goal and identifying domain, and then pre-processing. In the pre-processing task, that you have to create the geometry for creation of geometry, you can make any model. You can make model with the help of any design software, whether it is SolidWorks, CATIA, ProE, or any. And meshing is the most important part. Okay, so if you don't perform the mesh, generally people don't want to utilize their time on the meshing. Okay, they try to get there, but they used to give their time on the solver part. But if mesh is not clear, then you'll never get your good result. Okay, then physics and then solver setting. Okay, solver setting is the part of which we'll discuss later on. Then in the solver part, compute the solutions. Then we'll get the pre-processing, like examine the result. Then after that, we'll go for the validation part, which is the important for the numerical analysis or CFD analysis. Okay, so any CFD, how does CFD work? How does CFD work? So, like as I mentioned, here we'll discuss the ANSYS, how to create the mesh in ANSYS. ANSYS. So ANSYS is nothing but it's a solver which is FVM based, finite volume based solver. Finite volume based solver which domain is discretized into finite number of control volume. You see one domain is there where is a 3D domain where we have discretized into number of small control volume. So each of the one is the nothing but control volume. Now here how CFD is solving all the conservation equation based on our problem. Like if your problem is like fluid flow problem, then there will be a continuity equation and momentum conservation equations. Okay, and if this heat transfer is also there and the fluid flow is there, that time another equation will come into picture, that is will be your energy equation will come. Here is the general equation for the general equation which is generally solved in the like ANSYS. So if you put here 1, that time it will be your mass conservation equation, or you can say continuity equation. And if you put U, V and W, then you will get a momentum equation in each of the directions, and then a energy equation. Okay, so here partial differential equations are divided into system of algebraic equation. Here each of the equation will solve and the solution will pass to the next volume. Like this it will solve the complete solutions. Okay, so you have to remember that any CFD solver, they have to solve the conservation equation based on your problem. So if it is so like fluid flow problem, then mass conservation and momentum conservation will obviously be there. So meshing process in ANSYS meshing. So generally, generally two type of meshings are there. It's a global mesh control and the local mesh control. So most important part is the local mesh control, which is you can control in the particular positions that you will see in a subsequent slide, or in maybe in the next video you will see. So these are the steps actually. This is by first of all, there's a global mesh control. This is by global mesh setting. So you have to set the global mesh in the ANSYS. Then automatically it will mesh your computational domain. But in the insert local mesh setting, what will happen in particular position of your domain, you can analyze. And then every time if you change any data in the ANSYS, then you have to perform generate mesh. Okay, after generating mesh, you have to check the quality of the mesh. That also we'll discuss. But one of the important things that for choosing the mesh, you have to perform the grid independent test. So now next you will see. So what are the various types of cells? Cells in case of like if the 2D analysis and 3D analysis, then we'll see. So many different cellular element and grid types are available. Choices depend on the problem and the solver capabilities. Obviously, for 2D element, what it will be? Is a triangular element. Another will be a quadrilateral or 2D prism, or generally we call it a quad element. Okay, so in case of like if your problem is a complicated geometry, that time I suggest to use the triangular element. So if there is a complicated element, then what will happen? So skewness is going to be increased if you choose the rectangular element. Okay, but if you choose that triangular element, that skewness is going to reduce. Generally, skewness if is come towards zero, that time we consider is a better quality of mesh. Obviously, we have to check the quality of the mesh is there, but generally it prefer for complicated geometry, triangular element is better compared to the quad element. Okay, there is a justification. Lot of data is there. We will discuss. So in case of 3D element, we have to choose like a tetrahedron element is there, prism element is there, a pyramid type element is there, and prism and triangular base. So and as a arbitrary polyhedron elements are there. But generally, people are used tetrahedron element and the prism element. But which mesh you have to choose, here we will discuss which mesh is preferable for you, and in up to in which position how you have to mesh. Suppose your problem is something like this and your computational domain is like this. Okay, so you have given completely a fine mesh, so that time it will take more time. So in order to reduce the time, reduce the time, you have to segregate your computational domain, or you can divide the computational domain but again you have to identify which part is your part of investigation. Suppose in this case this part is the mostly investigating part. Okay, so this part is your investigating part. So here around this you have to perform the very fine mesh, and at the inlet up to this and up to this you can get the coarse mesh. Okay, so it will reduce the computational time and you will get the proper result. So in your problem you have to identify which is the part of your investigation. So you try to properly adjust the mesh in that part by performing the various meshing operations that we'll discuss in our next talk. Thank you.